Hi, friends and fellow Earth Angels. It's Gladys, and welcome back to another one of my weekly Sunday card readings. And this spread will start by covering November 28th through December 4th, or whenever you're guided to watch, as I always intend these to be timeless readings, meaning that whenever this video shows up in your feed, in your life, that is the time that the messages are meant for you. So welcome. I want to start by sharing what is happening with the planets, a little bit about what's happening with the planets this week. We have Neptune that is stationing direct, which makes it official that we have all planets now going direct. So we've been in these months of retrograde energies that's been stirring stuff up. Things have been coming to the surface. And, I want just to acknowledge how wonderful that so many of you have been moving through these energies. If you've been feeling the intensity of it and these things just almost like coming out of nowhere, and emotions and feelings bubble up and surfacing within you, I just want to acknowledge that you are not alone and that it is the perfect time for this stuff to come up and out. And when you practice pause and stillness and rest and silence and nothingness and then full surrender, it is in those experiences, those emotions that come up, that you find your true power, that you experience deeper levels of wisdom and insight. So I want to acknowledge the work, quote unquote work, you've been doing by being and experiencing and shifting and aligning. And it's been a really powerful experience for me to observe the shifts in the EarthAngel Collective, for myself included. I'm there with you as well. So we'll have all planets retrograde we'll have all planets direct for a very short period of time. And then in middle of December, I think December 19th, 17th or 19th, Venus goes retrograde. So it may seem like things are different these next couple weeks, because we're getting this clarity with this retrograde energy clearing out. But also too, I want to add to, at the end of the week, 3rd and 4th of December, depending on your time zone and where you're in the world, we will be experiencing the new moon in Sagittarius, which is the solar eclipse energy. So this would be a really great week to rest. This would be a really great week to reflect. You might resist action. For me, it feels like a non-action week. And again, remember, we're still in the phase of the full moon, energy. So full moon in Taurus energy. And so we are releasing still. So how can you practice this week, being with the emotions that you're experiencing in a non-judgmental way, in an accepting way? It may be, you're being squeezed with opinions and influence from the outside world, and so how can you, check in with your own self to see, is this my truth? Is there something I need to take from this? Or is this, somebody else's influence, right? That I can release to the ethers, release to the heavens, and take the nuggets of wisdom that you get from it. So that is energetically what's happening. I cannot recommend Molly McCord and Tanya Gabrielle enough for more detailed, specific information regarding those astrological shifts. So I just want to give you some insight if you follow that and you value, the astrology. I do want to give you that information because it does all go along, right? None of this stuff is separate. It is all part of the divine universe of forces working with us to advance and accelerate these higher frequencies of spiritual energy on this planet. So and transcend love, right? Transcend the energy of love on this planet, energy of true love on this planet. All right, so the decks that I chose this week, I'm going to start with Angels and Ancestors. I'm going to pick a guide for the week that you could work with. And then, since we're in the full moon energy, I'm going to pull a message of healing from the Power of Surrender cards. And then action steps this week will come from mystical wisdom. What you're being gifted with this week, the energy of this week, will come from the sacred geometry activations, and then we'll finish up with an overall message of love from Isis, goddess Isis. All right, so let me start here. I didn't put on my light today. I'm recording at a different time of day, so I'm hoping there's enough sunlight, natural sunlight, to see. So we'll see as we go. So let me start. Wait a minute, wiggly one. Let's open space first. So let me invite in all your guardian angels and guides, the archangels, the ascended masters, the divine mother and father, and all their holy beings of light that would like to assist with this guidance. I want to connect my heart to the heart of the Angels and Ancestors Oracle. And I'm going to ask that the messages that come through this week be for our best and highest good and the best and highest good of all concerned. All right, friends, so let's begin. What guide wants to come out this week? Oop, that one. Let's see. We have Elder. Look at him. Oh, he's so wise. Look at his eyes, friends. That is the eyes of love, of truth, of wisdom. So it says move beyond ancestral patterns. Oh, so we're being called to invoke the elder energy. So here's the thing with the global pandemic that we've been experiencing. It has really put a it has really shined a light on our elders. Those of you who have been following me a while know that I have recently lost a grandma. She was my grandma-in-law, my adopted grandma, and we become very close the last few years, and she transitioned in October, and I would value so much her wisdom. I would value so much what she's learned about life based on the stories she would tell of her life. And I feel like I got this because she was a very private woman, this glimpse into her wisdom in a way that the rest of the world may have looked over or didn't see or didn't value. And I remember sitting there. We would sit at her kitchen table for hours and hours and talk. And she had this bird clock, which I have now inherited. I have the bird clock now. And we would just sit there in the kitchen, and every hour that went by, a different bird would go off. And after like 4 or 5 hours, we would just laugh about, oh, there's another bird. Another hour has gone by. And I treasure that time so much. But what it did is it made me value and appreciate our seniors in the world. It made me value and appreciate our ancestors, who have lived hard lives, challenging lives, difficult lives. And it really gives me this gratitude and this appreciation for their lives, because of their lives, in the things that they did in those lives, and the wisdom that they passed on. It gives me and us an opportunity to live in a way of freedom that many of our ancestors haven't. And so with this energy of move beyond ancestral patterns, we can use the power of the energy this week of this full moon energy to release and transcend old beliefs, old ways of doing things, right? And I would encourage you, if you are blessed to have an elder, if you are blessed to have a senior citizen in your life, sit with them, listen to their stories. I miss that the most is just listening to Grandma's stories about her life and how she and Grandpa traveled the world when he was enlisted in the military. And I gained so much insight and wisdom. The divine feminine learns through stories. The divine feminine really receives the wisdom of these experiences through the gifts of storytelling. And so, especially as a medium, I experience very often clients who come in who may not have had the chance to say goodbye to their loved ones. Their loved ones may have transitioned unexpectedly. And a lot of times they say, if I could ask them one more question, or had I known, I would have, right? So I'm feeling like the elder energy is coming up. And if you think about the mass population that transitioned through the global pandemic was our elders, was our seniors. It was a very scary time for them. And so this planet lost a lot of that wisdom, that storytelling, that I shouldn't say lost, because I know there is so many earth angels out there who are caretaking for them, who are listening to them. And I just want to, speak to those that received that wisdom, that received that insight, and also to the way you remember them, right? The way you treasure them, the way you honor their souls and their spirit as a contributor to your lineage, as you are on the flip end transcending generational curses. And I use that because the energy of curse is like somebody projects an energy to a person unknowingly. That person is unaware of it, right, to a degree. And it can be a low vibrational energy, but in the way that I'm talking about it is that our behaviors, our patterns, and our ways of being in a lot of ways come from our parents. We all know with the education and the emotional development of the child that children are always watching. I had this experience with my cousin this Thanksgiving where, we were just talking about how, her young daughter is so clued into everything that she says. And she parrots some of the things back to her mom and dad that they say that they don't realize. And they chuckle, but they're like, "Oh, we've got to pay attention to that, or we've got to, be aware of that." And they were acknowledging the awareness of how much of a sponge children are, right? And so remember, you have an inner child that have these seeds that were planted from way back when, right? And so many earth angels, I've been seeing it for years now, as so many earth angels came through these families that had dysfunction. And I use the word dysfunction as the most beautiful, kind, compassionate energy. Because remember, as souls, we chose these family dynamics. We chose to come in because as earth angels, we came to transcend those energies. And in order to transcend it, you've almost got to experience the latter, right? So, I experience great depths of joy and gratitude and appreciation, because I've also experienced multiple dark nights of the soul in sadness and depression and feeling lost, right? So there's these dualities of these energies, but they're not separate. They're, one and the same. And, as earth angels, your ability to feel and experience emotions on deep levels is your power, right? And it is of the minority. There are plenty of people, many billions of people on this planet who aren't tapped into and don't have the ability to feel at the depth that you do. But because you do, you can experience life on deeper levels in its most simplicity, in its simplistic. And that's what we're here to teach, right? This vibration of unconditional love. So what's happening is there's so many people on this planet awakening to and becoming conscious of the dysfunction. right? And saying, I'm noticing the patterns and the loops and the old beliefs, and I'm noticing this energy that's been passed down from generation to generation. And understand it's really important to be mindful, which I've just learned this from my therapist. It's really important to be mindful that when people are in a low vibratory experience, or they're doing something to you that is hurtful, or it feels mean, or it feels abusive, understand that most likely they're coming from an unconscious place. Eckhart Tolle talks about this in Forgiveness. And it helps you be able to release those grudges, those burdens that you're carrying of caregiver and responsibility and people pleaser, right? And so now is the time for us to transcend it, especially as we clear out of this universal 5 energy and go into 2022. We're now transcending this energy to create more love, more energy of family and connection on this planet. So this week you may experience, especially if you spend time with family through the Thanksgiving here in the United States, if you celebrated Thanksgiving with your family, I'm sure that those what did he use? Ancestral patterns became apparent, right? And, because you're conscious now, more so than ever, right? That's why you're here. That's why you're watching these types of videos, is because you're becoming more conscious and you're wanting to learn and you're wanting to grow and evolve. And because of that, your light expands. And when your light expands, anything that's not in a vibrational alignment of that comes up and out. So it becomes painful. It becomes uncomfortable, right? So use Elder this week to assist you with transforming these energies. And remember, you're now moving forward in a different way. You're no longer repeating patterns from the generations of the past that were unconscious and in survival mode. You're now consciously learning how to check in with your wisdom and insights, and how to navigate and move forward with your heart mind, right? The compass of your heart. And, my recommendation would be working with Jesus and Mary Magdalene in that energy. But remember, they could be a symbol for you, or, there are also those symbols in other philosophies as well. So whatever you label it, whatever you're working with, you can, work with those energies to help you assist in how to navigate forward, right? There's a lot of unknown and uncertainty, right? There's a lot of, especially in the spiritual community, there's a lot of, how do I describe it? There's a lot of outdated techniques, let's say, or there's a lot of outdated protocols or step-by-steps, and how to move forward. And so if you're in those experiences, and it's important for you to learn from those things, to realize that they're not necessarily slingshotting you forward the way you thought, it will just assist you in navigating and trying other things, right? So if you're stuck in a comfort zone and you're not really growing or feeling the expansion in the way you thought you would, just check in with yourself and saying, is this even in alignment? Or am I following a I want to say influencer, right? Or am I following, that might not be the right word. Am I following a outdated system? And your guides will show you. Your guides will tell you, right? And remember, everybody's in different stages. So I feel like the Elder is coming to you this week to remind you to transcend the energy. You're learning about dysfunction in relationships. You're learning about dysfunction in your personal growth. You're learning about the inner child. You're learning about these generational patterns. You're learning about past lives. And there's so much that you're learning, but now is time to take action. And how do we move forward with this? How do we transcend this energy and shift it? And this is why I always say, you earth angels who are watching, who are connected, who are dialed in, you are the leaders of this energy, right? And unfortunately, a lot of times we're challenged with insecurities and self-esteem and worth and value and shame and all that stuff, right? So you're transcending that energy. And really, I cannot speak enough about trusting the wisdom of your heart, trusting and having faith in the universal forces that are working with you to propel forward. But it appears to be a slow process, and we do need patience, but you are all accelerating at a fast rate. So that was a long introduction, but I felt like it needed to be had because, this stuff is coming up. The wounds, the shadows, it's all good, but it's all coming up. So you can work with the elder this week to clear it. Leave it in the energy of the Taurus full moon, which is about clearing. If there's anger coming up, if there's fear, worries, control stuff coming up, gift it to the moon, right? Gift it to Mother Moon this week. And again, it requires stillness, pause, right? Silence, rest. All my favorite words. All right, so let's see. Our elder. And I feel like I want to connect with the ancestors, the elders, for generations, like their wisdom, their insight. I honestly feel like when I connect with them, I want to drop to my knees and I want to bow with my forehead on the ground. Like I just feel like a deep, deep honor for their energy and their wisdom and just to receive their love. All right, so elder energy. What can we surrender this week? Message of healing. What can we surrender this week to transcend these ancestral patterns? What can we surrender this week? Let me put that one. Oh, surrender your belief in scarcity. Not enough, right? So the universe is asking you to be open to the infinite nature of abundance. In this way, you can remove blocks in your life and succeed beyond your wildest dreams. So many of you have been stepping in your light as healers, intuitives, empaths, highly sensitive people on this planet, right? You've been tapping into your gifts, right, of compassion and love and support and wisdom on this planet. But we also have to remember that we live on a planet that we need resources to survive right now, right? Everybody needs a different degree of resources, but resources nonetheless. Food, shelter, water. These are things that we need to survive, right? If you're here in New England, it's cold, so we need heat, right? And so in our system right now, these things require money to a degree, right? Let's put it in that space. And so, I've been working with money and the energy of money for a really long time, and money has become my bestest friend, my supporter. Money gives me the opportunity, activates safety, security, stability. And because I'm so grateful for those feelings, I send well wishes and blessings to money as a whole. And so I feel like, we're transcending these generational patterns of poverty and lack and hustle, and, working hard. And that is not the goddess way. That is not how the divine feminine wants to operate in the world. Feminine energy wants to align, wants to create, wants to laugh, wants to play. But if we're in a vibration of scarcity, it creates and activates a fear that makes us want to make something happen and take action in a way of doing something to get something, right? So if money is coming up for you this week, this would be a really great week, especially at the end of the year, especially in the Taurus full moon, because the Taurus full moon is connected to finances and resources. So it's a great time to release that energy of scarcity and lack. And so if you're in this vibration, especially as we move into the holiday season, whatever those holidays are for you, it can bring up this fear vibration of spending, of materialism, of consumerism. And you through experiences, I'm experiencing a lot of earth angels who are making shifts in the way they take action in those energies. So this would be a really great week to release those fears and then start creating a plan for the next, year on how to maybe eliminate debt, how to make adjustments in where you're putting your resources, and how you're expending that energy. Not in a place of lack or restriction, but in a place of what isn't serving me anymore. Where am I expending resources that's connected to an addiction in some way, right? This Neptune energy that we've been working with is really bringing up these apparent addictions. Like, what are we escaping into or numbing out by, because we're not, processing these emotions and these feelings that are coming up inside, so you could feel like, I don't feel happy, I don't feel loved, I don't feel abundant, I don't feel like these things can be coming up. But remember, it's all illusion. It's all an illusion, and to the extreme, a delusion. Not saying, anybody's delusional, but it can create that energy where we see a problem where there may not even be a problem, right? And so where can we drop down and ground this week and make adjustments, not based on shame, not shoulda, coulda, woulda, because you're coming into a more conscious state now, right? So how can you have compassion for the action steps you took when you didn't know? Appreciate that. And now how can you take actions in a more conscious way going forward as you check in with yourself? All right, so what action steps can you take this week to support your healing? What action steps can you take this week to support your healing? I think I want that one. Good fortune. Invite magic in. Okay, well, I'm thinking this is a money thing. If you think about our elders, it makes sense with the final week of the Taurus full moon. Taurus being a more earthy, grounded energy. Money comes from the earth. So it could be something that comes up as you think about the holidays and how can you make adjustments? How can you have fun with this energy? I mean, from Thanksgiving to New Year's Day, that it's my favorite time of year. I love the energy of this time of year. I love the cheer. I love going for walks in my neighborhood and seeing how people are decorating their homes. I love traditions. I love the cultures. I love the food. I love the energy of this season as it's multicultural all around the world. And I just really tap into that energy, which again is abundance and blessing. So understand that our elders, they experienced poverty at the deepest levels. They experienced famine. They experienced survival. Many of these older generations had multiple kids, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 12 kids, right? It's impossible to work with the development and a child's emotions when there are 8, 10, 12 mouths to feed, right? So we're learning how to transcend these energies. We're learning how to create emotional stability within now. And with that, we access different levels of abundance. So your action steps this week is let magic in. So again, as you move through releasing scarcity, right, is asking you to be open to the infinite nature of abundance, whatever that energy feels like to you. And when you do that, you can let the magic in. It's more about aligning and being open to receiving the gifts and the blessings from the universe. I've been really practicing with this energy, and it's been so fun working with these energies. And when fears come up, I notice it. It's an old belief. It's an old fear of lack or not being supported or whatever comes up, and I remind myself like, oh yeah, that's right, that's an old belief and we're transcending that. So I sit with it, I thank it, I check in to see if there's any action steps I could be taking right now. I do those, and then I have patience to align and receive the gifts, right? Show me abundance, show me what abundance looks like, and I am blessed to have abundance all around me. I'm blessed to experience that energy all around me, and I have peace with it. I have love with it, right? It's magical in so many ways how people have created wealth in their lives. And I'm not just talking about financially, but wealth in so many ways. I talk about how, Heavenly Hugs, my business, my practice, is such a beautiful, blessed practice of really genuine, loving people, like good, honest people of integrity. And it's been really beautiful. And so for me, in a sense, that's where I feel wealthy. I feel wealthy and blessed to know, people in the world who are under the radar, who don't need accolades and like they don't need to be the center of attention, or, they're doing amazing things in the world and being of service to humanity, and they're so under the radar. And it just touches my heart to see what this love, this wealth of love that comes through this energy of Heavenly Hugs, right? And then that energy just shines out into the world, and we're aligning to each other. We're all receiving each other's gifts. We're all receiving each other's blessings, and it's magical. So maybe this week, as you transcend that energy, you can ask the divine that inquiry quest, like, show me what that magic looks like. Show me what that magic feels like. And just even the expression of I'm opening, or I invite magic in my life, right? And that word magic will be different for everybody too, but I invite that energy into my life through the divine, through the highest vibration of unconditional love, through Creator, right? Through Father, Mother, God, whatever that is to you. And just sit with that for a moment and allow that light to expand this week. Love it. All right, so what is being activated within you this week? What is being activated this week as we shed, as we heal, as we learn, evolve, grow, shift, evolve? What is being activated? So we have 2 here. Belief. 11. I'm telling you, there's so many of you, myself included, that have been seeing 1111s. I know it. You've been telling me. And this is the energy of believe. Believe in yourself. Believe in the power of divine. Believe in your true gifts. I don't know if you can see that 11. There it is. The light is, that is bright here, which is nice, natural light. So the card here says the frequency of belief supports our sense of self-worth based on our gifts and talents and a strong connection to source. See? So as we move through these energies, as we just recognize what our ancestors had to go through in gratitude and sending that energy, love and appreciation, that we don't have to be in those spaces anymore. We don't have to continue to repeat these patterns and these cycles and these rhythms. We can now consciously shift it. Believing in yourself, believing in your gifts, believing in your own insights is how we transcend these fear frequencies that have existed for so long. Let me see here. I feel like I want to say that all that you need is inside of you. And I really encourage you, and I truly believe in support. So I do have a spiritual mentor. I do have a psychologist I work with, a psycho-spiritual therapist, if you want to, narrow that down, a psycho-spiritual therapist. I have a spiritual mentor that I work with, and I have a few really great people in my life who are part of my inner circle. And they speak kindness over me. They speak love over me. I think it's really important to have somebody to, what came up in a session this week for a client was it's important to have people in your life who are gazing upon you with a positive outlook, right? So the power of that nourishes your soul and lights you up. So practice discernment with how you're receiving information from people around you, right? Is it influence based on worries and fears and telling you what to do? Or is it like nourishing and uplifting and sharing information to support you on how you're navigating through your journey, right? The whole life coaching, spiritual, works and dynamics are transcending. It's shifting, right? It's shifting. So all that to say is, you want to work with people who are encouraging you, uplifting you, empowering you, right? And being mindful of those that might be passive aggressively suppressing you in some way. Now, again, those people aren't good, bad, right, wrong, positive, or negative. It's an experience that you need to have in order to navigate into what feels right for you. So both are great. Both are really great learning. I choose to learn through feeling uplifted, empowered, encouraged, and having people put a positive light on me, really holding space for when I want to spill, when I'm in a place of like I'm lost amongst the trees. And so again, I feel like it's really important for me to have people in my life who believe in me, because I do have worries and doubts, and I have struggled with self-esteem and worth and value, and those things still surface. So people having faith in you even when you don't have faith in yourself is powerful enough to shift it, right? So believe in yourself, believe in the power that the divine is going to provide and support you, but also having people who believe in you in your inner circle who are inspiring you is also important. So that's what you're being gifted with this week. And then also you're being gifted with the Tantric Journey, card number 42. So this says the frequency of Tantric Journey helps us to unlock the hidden knowledge and wisdom that we intrinsically hold about how to reach a state of wholeness and completion through our sensual experiences with ourselves and with another. So tantric energy is very sexual. We just came out of the Scorpio energy. Entering into, the sun was in Scorpio. The sun was in Scorpio, and now the sun has officially entered Sagittarius. And so there's a lot of this, I want to call it sexual energy, but it's also creation energy. It's also like a passion energy. So you're being gifted as you clear this stuff out. And as you get more in alignment with these energies, you activate this depth of passion, of love on deeper levels. And, I'm a firm believer in this. Lovers, true divine lovers together transcend energies on this planet, and it's so powerful. But in order to get there, we each individually have to work on healing our own darkness when it comes to these frequencies, right? Abuse and oppression, and your relationship with your body and self-esteem, and how you feel about your body, and transcending the projection of how your body should and shouldn't look in this world. Nobody should tell you ever what you should do with your body or not. This is stuff where we're now getting back into falling in love with our own bodies, our own energy. Feminine energy is very sexual in a sense of vibratory, light, magnetic, alluring, right? But we live in a world who has perversed that and demonized it in a lot of ways. So earth angels are really here getting in touch with these different frequencies in a healthy, empowered way. And in turn, they're aligning to partners who are very much in those frequencies. And as they come together, they're now transcending those childhood wounds and shifting them on mass levels, right? So, when there is, lovers coming together in these frequencies, it's not uncommon for it to bring up childhood wounds and stuff. So, when you have two partners working together, leaning on each other, loving each other, you can transcend these energies together and activates deeper levels of unconditional love on this planet. It really is powerful. I mean, I don't talk too much about it. I mean, I've been very aware of these energies. I've been working with these energies. And some of you may know exactly what I'm talking about. Others, we're planting a seed because up until 2025, we're going to see these energies and enhance on the planet, right? And so feels like, for me, it's sacral chakra. Sacral chakra is like passion, it's creativity, it's love, it assists with the throat chakra and self-expression. In the shadow, it activates addictions, right? Addictive tendencies and distraction, procrastination, stuff like that. So working with that energy of the sacral chakra this week can also assist to transcend energies, which also may be affecting your wealth and your abundance on this planet. All right, final message. So, Isis, what message of love do you have for the Earth Angels this week? What's the overall message of love that you have for the Earth Angels this week? Let's go with this one. Look, she's got her hand out. She's got her receiving hand. That is the left hand. Left hand is receiving. And the message says, great, portal of light. So the card says, it is only this physical reality that is bound to time and space. You are a conscious being on levels beyond the physical world. You are guided to work with your healing powers beyond the confines of time and space. I love that. Be magical, right? Step into the abundance of your magnetic energy. Let's say you will not become ungrounded through such spiritual work. You are not leaving your earthy connection behind. You are merely adding to it. So again, you're being guided to use the power of the light and the frequencies on this planet to grow, to evolve, to heal, to transcend. And that doesn't mean doing anything for anyone. It's being yourself, being your self. When you are empowered in the essence of who you are, as a child of the Most High God, right? Or a child of the divine, as you embrace that, then these divine forces are what propel you forward. And it's like a calculated dance of moving, action, pause, waiting. It's like stepping stones. Like I'm seeing like a river and like trying to get across the river instead of like building a bridge, hammer and nail, and really kind of focusing on each board, hammering the boards of the bridge to get to the other side. With the divine, we can laugh and play and sing and dance on the side of the river and wait for the stones to rise up, right? When the what do you call it? When the tide or when the water lowers, right? That's when the stones rise up. So when you're working with the divine will show you the right time to move forward, the right steps to take. The stones will literally appear out of the river. And again, if the next one doesn't come yet, then how can you enjoy the present moment and the gifts and the steps and success of where you're at right here and now? And the next thing you know, another opportunity, another experience will show up and you're dancing in the light, right? And then from there, you share your story, you share your gifts, you share your blessings, and that's how you inspire others, right, on that path. All right. I think I've said all the things. So let me close space for us. Let me thank all your guardian angels and guides, the archangels, the ascended masters, the divine mother and father, and all their holy beings of light that assisted with this guidance for you today. I want to thank the elder energy, ancestral energy on this planet that is assisting for us to transcend these frequencies. And I'm going to ask that any healing that was started continue for as long as it needs to be done. And so it is. And those are your messages this week. So again, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate you being here. If I could be of service in any way, if I could support you in any way, my title is Spiritual Advisor, Interfaith Minister, Gifted Medium, Holistic Healer. These are my gifts to work with if I can support you in any way. There is a link to my online scheduling system down below. Or if you're local, come in and see me. I am back in the office. I still have limited hours, but come see me and let's expand in this light and love together. All right, so have a great week. I love you. God loves you so much. Trust in the divine, trust your intuition, and I send you love with heavenly hugs. Bye for now.